sound, lift the blade of the tongue, which is held flat, up to the centre of the ridge behind the front top teeth. The sides of the tongue, around the middle part of the tongue, touch the sides of the teeth inside the mouth. Open the mouth slightly and push the tongue blade up and let the sound come out, resonate, of your nose. Use voice at the same time. This is a voiced consonant. News, neighbour, national, nothing, knock, pneumonia, gnaw, kneel, not, nose, bananas, China, many, container, find, channel, constant, animal, mountain, into, brain, flown, 9, common, spoon, information, section, curtain, pin, sign. That's not the information channel. We can't find the container. The candle blew in the wind. Knock on the door next to the number 9. None of the nephews were noisy. Don't bend the needle. Send the pianist a sign when he needs to stop. The generous founder of the institute was funny. I know that is mine. They couldn't find the tin mine.
Hi. In this video, you will learn some important elements to speak English with flowing speech and correct stress patterns and rhythm. These are elision and linking. Using elision and linking in your speech gives it a flowing rhythm, so you don't sound choppy or staccato, especially if your background language is a syllable-timed language. Syllable-timed speech means that the vowels in each syllable in a word are said clearly and with more or less equal length. In English, this isn't the case. Some vowels are stressed and some said weakly or de-stressed, so English is a stress-timed language. As well as this, some words in English become linked and flow into each other as part of the rhythm of English. It is important to speak flowingly and to speak with correct stress so English listeners can understand what you're saying. Let's start with elision. Elision is when we join a word that ends in a consonant to the following word if it begins with the same consonant. For example, want to. We don't say them with each T sound pronounced separately, like this, want to. We run the two words smoothly together, want to. And again, want to. If we use this in a sentence, for example, we wouldn't say, I want to go on the bus. We would say, I want to go on the bus. One of the T sounds becomes elided or left out. Let's practice some examples of elision. We will say them as two separate words first and then elide them. Say them with me. Head down and elided head down, and again head down. Didn't take, and again didn't take. Big gate, big gate, big gate. Make cake, make cake, make cake. And one more, same man, same man, same man. Now we'll use some of these in a sentence. Be careful not to go back to the old way of saying the two words separately. Practice with me. So, we don't say the same man put his head down on the pillow. We say the same man put his head down on the pillow. And again, the same man put his head down on the pillow. And another sentence. We don't say they didn't take the big gate from the wall. Practice with me. We say they didn't take the big gate from the wall. And again, they didn't take the big gate from the wall. Now we'll talk about linking. Linking is when we join a word that ends in a consonant to the following word if it begins with a vowel. For example, want it becomes want it. Let's say a sentence using these words without the linking and then with the linking. Without the linking, it is I want it now. With linking, it is I want it now. Listen to how it sounds more flowing. I want it now. I want it now. We join the final consonant of the first word onto the beginning of the second word. Now we'll practice some linking examples. We will say them unlinked at first and then linked. Practice with me. Was a man, and linked was a man. Put on here, put on becomes put on. Put on here. They are at home. Are at becomes are at. They are at home. These ones are big. Ones are becomes ones are. These ones are big. These ones are big. Let's practice in some more sentences. We will say the sentence with the words unlinked first, and then the same sentence and link them. Practice with me. There was a bag on the table. There was a bag on the table. And linked again, there was a bag on the table. It is the part of the game. It is the part of the game. And linked again, it is the part of the game. And one more, Can I come over today? Can I come over today? And again, can I come over today? And the last one, her apple is on her book. Her apple is on her book. And linked again, her apple is on her book. Some of you may have heard of a type of linking that involves what we call the intrusive R. This is also important for smooth flowing rhythm in English. You can use an intrusive R when a word is not written with an R sound at the end, or the word ends in the vowels ear, as in near, and or. The next word begins with a vowel. It sounds complicated, but it isn't really. Let's say some. Again, copy with me and practice. So, it's not law and order, but law and order. And again, law and order. Let's put it in a sentence. Law and order is important in society. In this sentence, you also have a linking R. Order is. And let's say the sentence again. Law and order is important in society. Let's make a sentence with the phrase paw on the bed. This becomes paw on the bed. The cat had a paw on the bed. And again, the cat had a paw on the bed. Listen out for these when others are speaking and begin to notice when people use the intrusive R. Now I would like to give you a great practice tip for linking and elision. Look at the sentences on any page in our audio lessons. Print the page out, take a pen and mark all the elision and linking examples you find in the sentences. Then go through and practice saying them. If you aren't sure you're saying it right, just go back to saying the sentence like we've been practicing. First, say it with every word said separately with a pause between each word, and then say it again, running the elided and linked words together. Of course, you can also listen
If your native or background language is syllable timed, then to master English pronunciation and fluency, you will need to practice the elements of a stress-timed language like English quite a lot. In this training video, we will help you practice linking to help you with your practice for English fluency. If you are used to saying each word separately because of your background language, or you have had to say each word totally separately so others could understand you, it's time to sound more natural in English by using linking to help with your English pronunciation and fluency. Also, when we learn a new language, we tend to say each word separately so people understand us, which is fine for the beginning. But after that, to improve English pronunciation and fluency, you need to practice putting it back together to sound flowing and fluent, more like a native speaker. Whenever there is an intrusive letter, that's a letter that isn't written there, but it's said in the word between two vowels. It's there to help us say the vowel combination more easily and increase fluency. For example, who is becomes who whiz. We pronounce an intrusive w there. Start actively listening for this when people are speaking to you. The intrusive letters are usually w, y or When you link words together, it's as if you are saying one long word that keeps on going without a stop in the middle. Now I will say a dialogue between two people, and then we will practice the linking from it. Interviewer says, "So Neil, tell me about one of your early childhood experiences." Neil says, "Oh, wow, that's a difficult one to start with. I remember falling over in the playground. We used asphalt as the playground surface, and there was a drain pipe that sort of stuck out from the corner of the school building, which was like this blue wooden building. And the drain pipe was blue as well. I remember running really fast and just not seeing the drain pipe, tripping over it, and then this river of blood flowing from my right knee. It was really painful, and I put my hanky over it, and then I think the teacher came out and put a plaster on it. So yeah, that's an early school memory." Interviewer says, "Okay, and how about how you came to Australia the first time?" Neil says, "That was, about 13 years ago, and it was very exciting. I was teaching at college in Southgate in North London, and one of my colleagues came in and said, 'Oh, Neil, look at this. This is an advertisement for a job in Australia.' I said, 'Oh, that sounds quite exciting,' and so I answered the ad and had an interview. The whole process started with a phone call, and it was quite late at night, and I thought, who is this phoning me at 10 o'clock at night? But of course, it was the time difference, so for the guys in Australia, it's about 8 in the morning. So the man said, 'Hello, this is Brian Seedon from Monash University in Melbourne, Australia.' So I said, 'Oh, hello.'" Now let's practice the linking. Repeat after me. I will say the words separately first and then linked. Me about one of. Me about one of. Notice the intrusive y between me about. You're early. You're early. Childhood experiences. Childhood experiences. That's a. That's a. Falling over in. Falling over in. Asphalt as. Asphalt as. Was a. Was a. Sort of. Sort of. Stuck out. Stuck out. Corner of. Corner of. Blue as. Blue as. Notice the intrusive w. Tripping over it. Tripping over it. River of. River of. And I. And I. Hanky over it. Hanky over it. Then I. Then I. Put a. Put a. Plaster on it. Plaster on it. That's an early. That's an early. That's an early. How about. How about. To Australia. To Australia. Notice the intrusive w. Years ago. Years ago. And it. And it. Teaching at a. Teaching at a. College in. College in. Southgate in. Southgate in. One of. One of. Came in. Came in. Look at. Look at. This is an advertisement. This is an advertisement. For a job in Australia. For a job in Australia. Quite exciting. Quite exciting. So I. So I. There's an intrusive word to make it easier to say those two vowels next to each other. Had an interview. Had an interview. With a. With a. And it. And it. Late at. Late at. And I. And I. Who is? Who is? Notice the intrusive w. Me at. Me at. Notice the intrusive y. 10 o'clock at. 10 o'clock at. But of. But of. Course it. Course it. Guys in Australia. Guys in Australia. It's about 8 in. It's about 8 in. This is. This is. Monash University in. Monash University in. There's an intrusive y between the university and in. Melbourne, Australia. Melbourne, Australia. Hi, in this video you will learn how to pronounce the OR vowel. When you pronounce this vowel, you don't pronounce the R sound, except when you are linking words together. I'll talk about the linking later. The OR is a long vowel. To make the OR vowel, you drop your jaw a bit, but not too much. The tip of your tongue is relaxed and rests behind your bottom front teeth. You raise or hump your tongue up toward the roof of your mouth at the back of your tongue. It humps up a little higher than for the O, as in lot. Your cheeks are hollowed in toward the inside of your mouth, which causes your lips to push forward. Gently round your lips so the opening is about the size of your thumb. The resonance of OR is at the back of your mouth and it has a low pitch or quality. If you usually pronounce the for this sound, you need to consciously stop your tongue going up for the A good way to think of it is whenever a word is spelt with an OR vowel in it, imagine it is spelt with an AW or AU instead. For example, the word fork is said as if it's spelt FAWK, fork, fork. As we practice the words, I will spell the words the usual way and the AW way as well to guide your pronunciation. Let's say some words and practice them with me. More. More. Form. And again, form. Be conscious of not lifting your tongue for the sound. Storm. And again, storm. Organization. And again, organization. Conform. And again, conform. Torn. Again, torn. Before. And again, before. Organize. Organize. Walk. Walk. Thought. Thought. Taught. 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 Court. Court. Court, as in tennis court, is pronounced the same. Court. Autumn. Autumn. Applaud. Applaud. Saw. Saw. Law. Law. Floor. Floor. Door. Door. Pour. Pour. Course. Course. For. For. Board. Board. Shore. Shore. Now let's put some OR words into sentences. Say them with me. Here's the first sentence. Can you repeat your name for me, please? And again. Can you repeat your name for me, please? The form was torn in the storm. Again, the form was torn in the storm. And the next sentence, he sorted the forms for the organisation as he walked towards the door. Again, he sorted the forms for the organisation as he walked towards the door. Next one, they store it in the cardboard organiser. In this sentence, there is an example of using a linking er. The er is not usually said in the word store in British English. Here it is said, and it links the I in the word it. You say store it in, store it in the. Let's say it again. They store it in the cardboard organiser. Another sentence. She ordered 4 doors and a new floor before she went to her course. She ordered 4 doors and a new floor before she went to her course. Next one. Keep practicing with me. Of course, they couldn't take the horse to court. Again. Of course, they couldn't take the horse to court. And another sentence. He was born in an important corner of the world. And again. He was born in an important corner of the world. Final sentence. Can you find the source of that information, please? Again. Can you find the source of that information, please? Let's practice with a short paragraph. It was fortunate that they still found the important documents where they had been stored after the storm abated. But then they needed more time to fill in their forms for the courses. Unfortunately, the organiser informed them that because of the storm, they didn't have any more time for the forms and had to go out the door. Don't forget to use the extra practice material.
Or vowel. Saw. Door. Court. Story. Thought. Orchestra. Reward. Law. Floor. Fought. More. Before. Call. Important. Straw. Fall. Prawn. Torn. Brought. Autumn. It was important for Paul to hear more of the orchestra. This morning I saw a story about a new law. The workman repaired the floor near the door before he left. He caught his shorts on a wire fence and noticed they were torn. The mother ordered a new car horn when the baby was born. She sorted 4 more corn bags for her work in the store. He couldn't see the ball when it went over the tall wall. They formed a corporate portfolio for their business. He thought he would travel to the nearby port after the autumn winds stopped. After the carpenter installed the door, he altered the handle as well. A helpful tip. Try saying the following contrasting words to help distinguish the pronunciation. Caught, cot. His toy was caught in the cot. Dawn, dawn. Don woke at dawn. Short shot. The shot was short of the mark. Port pot. He bought pots at the seaport. Or vowel. Saw. Door. Caught. Story. Thought. Orchestra. Reward. Law. Floor. Fought. More. Before. Call. Important. Straw. Fall. Prawn. Torn. Brought. Autumn. It was important for Paul to hear more of the orchestra. This morning I saw a story about a new law. The workman repaired the floor near the door before he left. He caught his shorts on a wire fence and noticed they were torn. The mother ordered a new car horn when the baby was born. She sorted 4 more corn bags for her work in the store. He couldn't see the ball when it went over the tall wall. They formed a corporate portfolio for their business. He thought he would travel to the nearby port after the autumn winds stopped. After the carpenter installed the door, he altered the handle as well. S consonant. S is made by gently closing the teeth together and the lips are pulled sideways in a smile position. The tongue tip may be placed up on the ridge behind the front top teeth or just at the back of where the top and bottom teeth meet inside the mouth. The air is forced out over the centre of the tongue, out of the mouth, to make a hissing or snake sound. The tongue does not stick out for this sound, but stays behind the teeth. This is an unvoiced consonant, the sound being made by the airstream coming out of the mouth. Note, when the letter C is followed by an E, I or Y, it always says S. September. Somebody. Syllable. Session. Sock. Sea. Sun. Sail. Soft. Silver. Passing. Understand. Passenger. Disappear. Sausage. Saucer. Racing. Loosen. parcel, kissed, peace, generous, circus, source, yes, house, price, glass, race, nice, string, stop, space, smile, small, snow, slowly, sleep, sky, scrape. We celebrate the anniversary next September. Some people eat sausages with sauce. The socks have sand in them. My surprise parcel disappeared. What is the price of that house? Of course summer is a hot season. They stopped to see the circus in the small town centre. After he dressed, he had to loosen his pants. Yes, most of my business is in that office. That's just the box for my books. Z is the voiced minimal pair consonant to s. It is made with the teeth gently closed together and the lips are pulled sideways into a smile position. The tongue may be placed up on the ridge behind the front top teeth or just at the back of where the top and bottom teeth meet inside the mouth. A little bit of air is then forced out over the centre of the tongue while switching on voice in the throat at the same time. This is a voice consonant. 0. Zinc, zone, zip, Xerox, xylophone, zoo, zoom, zipper, zebra, dozen, design, business, horizon, visitor, cousin, amazing, houses, closing, supposed, exercise, apologize, prize, organize, papers, roses, buzz, rise, froze, cheese. The zoo does have amazing animals. The visitor was organized well. He collected his prize after his exercise. My cousin doesn't have a hose. I suppose it is closed. Please choose dessert. She couldn't resist the dazzling design. I wasn't teasing you. Isn't the zipper closing? He was late because he had to memorize his lines.
Often speakers don't notice when a s word needs to be said as a z because they see the s written there. So let's practice words where the s says z and begin to attune your ear to it. Let's practice some words that are exactly the same except for the s or z. Lice, lies. Price, prize. Loose, lose. Peace, peas. Face, phase. Ass, as. Race, raise. Words that are written with an S but where the S says Z. Toes, nose. Husband, position. Always, runs. Rising, because. Was, his. As, bees. Closing, phrases. Losing, erasing, music. She bought some hoses as well as some clothes. Her husband always runs after he finishes work. He always closes the door when he hears his music. They were in a losing position.